and welcome to episode 3 of Holte End Talk. Obviously with me, Seb and Luke. Today's episode we're going to discuss the Man City game and how that went, preview Newcastle and a brief on some of the transfers with Morgan Sanson. Wow, today we've got a extra little bit. Luke, he's doing a charity bike ride. Link will be on the description in how you can donate. But he's just going to talk a little bit about that at the start as well.
Yeah, so basically I'm doing a charity cycle for Mind. Basically I've got to aim for 350k in a month, which will be challenging because I'm unfit as fuck. Yeah, just I appreciate for like all the shares, the donations, literally anything. I'm aiming to get about £300 in at the moment. I think I'm on 170 in 2 days, which is amazing. That's amazing. We're updating every day on all my social media pages, like how I'm doing. I did my first cycle today, which was good. It was really good because I'm not doing it just for like raise awareness. I'm doing it for myself as well. So like, it'll be a very good cause. It's for a very good cause, and yeah, I'm just excited to see how knackered I get through the 30 days because my legs are burning already. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. First day.
Good, man. But yeah, obviously now getting into the podcast itself. Obviously we played Man City on Wednesday night. We lost 2-0, very controversially, so we'll say. Overall though, how do you see the game going, Sam?
I thought for the first half we was quite competitive, and we matched Man City because we was going toe to toe with each other, you know, attacking after attack. And I feel like because of all returning from COVID and having 3 days training prior to this, you know, I feel like that's where we lacked, because when City scored their first goal in the 79th minute, you know, that's when the players' heads dropped a little bit and the fitness drops. Like you could see when Barkley was running, like he's not played a game since November 21st, but he played all right. And then at the end of the day, it's just the fitness that lacked for us. But apart from that, we could have got something out of that game, like a 0-0 draw. But it was just unfortunate to hold them to that.
Yeah, I think we played really well, honestly. I think Barkley looked a bit not like himself, but that's understandable as he's been out since November. But that will come in time with fitness and that. I think appreciate for Matt Target. Matt Target played unbelievable. I think he played unbelievable. Hope he's not injured. Is his injury serious? Does anyone know?
I think I saw Ashley Pearce tweet that he's good to play. It's just McGinn is out.
Yeah, McGinn's suspended. I love Neil Taylor, but when I saw him come on, I was just a bit like, I'd have rather played Gilbert at left back, but you know, one of them. But obviously, the most controversial thing of the game was the offside. George, what do you think of that?
Wow, it's one of them, isn't it? I mean, the players have come out after the game. Obviously, Mings has tweeted. A lot of them have said about the actual rule, and he was unaware of the rule. And to be fair, a lot of people have said that the rule is ridiculous. Whether it was the rules, whether it wasn't the rules, he clearly gained an advantage for the position he was in. I mean, to be fair, obviously, saying that you don't know the rule, but Mings as a defender in that situation, 0-0, last 10 minutes, he should have just got his head on it and just got it upfield, relieved a bit of pressure. But you can't blame him if he thought he had the time in order to bring it down and didn't think Rodri could tackle him then. I feel
like as a professional player, you are learnt to like clear the ball away, aren't you? As a young
especially in the climate of the game, you know, against City. You know, we need these points. He's just got to clear it up the pitch, which is what he normally does. Like you see him take a couple touches and then hammer it up the pitch. But why didn't he do it then? I mean, you'd think that because Martinez is behind him, he could shout, "Oi, Mingsy, he's behind you," and he clears it. But
I think there was a lack of communication there as well. Yeah. I think sorry, bro. I think Mings does it quite a few times. I saw him do it quite a few times last season, where he's got the chance to clear the ball away, but he just takes too many like touches and turns, and you know it's going to catch up on him sometimes. Especially you can't make a mistake against Man City because like it's not going to end well, and it clearly did not. But I think like Twitter and everything, they need to just like not just blame him. Like they need to like back him. And I can understand why the frustration that like he should clear it straight away. But like I think for overall the game, Mings played a very good game.
The whole back four did. I think Mings, some of the blocks were vital. Obviously, you're saying about him clearing it, but like I was saying earlier, if he thought that Rodri was offside, he did have enough time to bring it down and play a pass rather than put his head on it. But it's one of them, innit? I mean, obviously, the decision's gone against us. It's come out that he was onside, although whether we agree with it or don't agree with it is the law. And to be fair, against Man City, you don't want things like that to go against you in such a game against such a good opposition.
They'll just punish us. And that's what they did. And then with Cash's handball, whatever he was doing there, I have no clue. It just led to our downfall, and like the scoreline at the end of the day flattered Man City, which is unfortunate for us. But like last time we played Man City in the league, was it when we played at home? We lost. What was it? 6-1.
6-1, yeah.
Yeah, and we lost 3-0 at the Etihad the season before, and you know it's terrible because I remember we went 1-0 down within 30 seconds of the second half.
Mings lost the header to Gabriel Jesus. But...
Yeah, like it's mad, but the defence has come on leaps and bounds, and it was shown in that performance. Really, Konsa is unbelievable, probably one of the best young English defenders there is at the moment. And then I feel like the way Phil Foden, he has so much plaudits coming out of that game. He was immense, you know, causing Cash so many problems down the wing. Like him and Cancelo linking up was just quite dangerous to our defence and midfield.
I personally believe, obviously we are all Villa and we all say about Grealish, but I do think Foden will be better than him. He's just, like people have described him as a generational player, and I think he is. He offers something different. Obviously, we all love Jack, and people say about Mount and Maddison. I see Grealish miles ahead of him, but I think Foden is going to be something special. If he can be breaking that City team so early, playing week in, week out, and learning from people like KDB, Sterling, Bernardo Silva, honestly, he could go on to be one of the greatest players of football.
Yeah, Foden was just Foden in that first half. He was giving Cash and Traore so many problems. Like you said, Seb, he was just he cut inside and outside. He was just like Cash couldn't. I thought Cash a few times did do like a few lunges, like where like just calm down a bit, but like just the way Foden played, he was just like Jordan said, he's a top tier player, like for his age as well.
Yeah, but then when we were saying with Traore just then, like normally he does track back, and then for some reason he just wasn't doing that as much against City, and then. Like he done that amazing touch and sent Kevin De Bruyne back to Wolfsburg, but he wasn't that good in the game, and he had a couple of chances which he could have put away, but it's just unfortunate, and I feel like it was the wrong call to bench El Ghazi for Traore in this game.
I think Traore was tracking back quite a few times personally, but like he'd get to like the penalty box and he'd just stop. Like he wouldn't carry on tracking back. He'd just stop and like leave it to Cash. And I think near the end of the game, you could see like how like the 3 week of not training on the training pitches affected some of the players. And I feel like Traore was one of them players.
I mean, it was 19 days or something since the last game the first team played, you know, and then you see Klopp complaining about his team losing fitness, even though they played, you know, a bunch of first team players against our under 18s, which is quite funny to me.
Yeah, it was a bit of a weird one there. I mean, obviously Newcastle Saturday. Would you play Traore again, or would you start El Ghazi? I mean, personally for me, you can afford to play Traore against Newcastle because he won't need to track back as much. I'm hoping and I feel that we will be the more attacking side in that game for large periods of the game. Whereas against Man City, we needed somebody to come back because Cancelo, they were saying it in commentary as well, the two fullbacks and Walker and Cancelo, if they don't go on the overlap, they're an extra player in midfield.
Yeah.
So even so, you still need them dropping back.
Well, with
I
McGinn
feel-
out, sorry, Seb, with McGinn out Saturday because he's suspended, would you have Jacob playing where McGinn usually plays, or would you have, I don't know, would you have Jack in the middle? I don't know. What would you do?
Personally, I'd give Ramsey the start against Newcastle because
Yeah.
he's a local lad. He knows what this means to him to play in Premier League, and I feel like he could contribute something and maybe get an assist against Newcastle, and like we've seen glimpses of him against Wolves and that. So I'd start Ramsey over like Nakamba or anyone on Saturday.
He nearly scored against City, didn't he? But I think it was Diaz who just edged it away, but he was
Yeah.
really close to scoring. But yeah, I think Ramsey deserves a start against Newcastle. I think we need the win against Newcastle because I feel this season we have dropped points to teams who we shouldn't be dropping them to, like Brighton.
Yeah.
Southampton maybe not. Yeah, Leeds.
Leeds.
So like, I feel like we need these 3 points against Newcastle to boost our
Definitely.
confidence up.
Yeah, as well. You said about Nakamba, I don't think he'll even be in the picture. I think it'll either be you play Al Ghazi on the wing and drop Grealish into the middle. But I don't think Grealish and Barkley in the middle would be the best idea. But yeah, I'd definitely play Ramsey. I think he deserves a start. Like you said, he come in against Man City, nearly scored, and he played against Wolves. All right, he wasn't his best performance, but still, that game time's only going to help him improve as well.
Yeah.
How do we see Newcastle going Saturday, boys?
I mean, personally, playing back at Villa Park and against Steve Bruce, I feel like the players will rise to the occasion because this means a lot to the fans because we know we had a bit of a rivalry with Newcastle, which goes way back when. So
We got them
I
relegated.
feel like we've got to take 3 points from this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a must-win game, and I think we will end up winning it. I mean, you could say that we'll win it comfortably because Newcastle haven't been in the best of form, but Bruce does love to turn up against us.
Yeah.
I do think that we will be too strong for them, especially. Well, I mean, if we defend the way we defended against City, and we're not going to be defending for as much of the game, but we just need to make sure that we are clinical. Because obviously we had the game against Burnley and things like that. The 0-0 draw, we were the better team throughout the game, but just need to make sure that we apply that finishing touch. But like you like some Watkins, Grealish, all got their shooting boots on.
I feel like Watkins needs a goal in this game as well, just to get his confidence back because he's been absent from the score sheet for some time now. I mean, despite like what he brings to the team off the ball, he needs to get the ball back in the back of the net. So
It was
hopefully
Arsenal last time he scored, wasn't it? It was against Arsenal, wasn't it, last time?
Yeah. So
I think his whole play is brilliant. Like we as fans see how much hard work he puts into the games. He just needs that goal because, like, I think it was an offside against West Ham, wasn't it? Something like that, and an offside
West Ham and West Brom.
West Ham, West Brom. So he has been very unlucky to not be on the score sheet recently. But I think we all know he's a very good player and he'll come in time. But I think Wesley soon coming back. Would you play him and Watkins up front, or do you think Wesley will like push Watkins to higher limits to like Wesley starting over Watkins maybe?
It's one of them, I think. I mean, I do think they would complement each other if they played up front. But we see a lot of managers now don't like playing the two up front, and I don't think he'll change the 4-3-3 system. I mean, it's worked for us wonders this season so far. But I mean, Wesley and Watkins, they would complement each other because Wesley does like to hold the ball up, and obviously Watkins does make them run into the channels and run off him. But I mean, it's going to be a good problem to have. Obviously, if Wesley comes back firing, and say we was to get an injury to a major player, one of the wingers, possibly Al Ghazi or something, to have him on the bench and know that Watkins would do a job out wide and would also be able to play as a front two with him is going to be good. But it's just a case of how Wesley is going to come back.
I mean, obviously Wesley provides like a different outlet for us going forward. Like he's a bit more of an aerial threat because he's taller and a lot more physical than Watkins. So I feel like Wesley, he started to grow into the side last season, and then to get injured on New Year's Day against Burnley was just, blowing for us. So I feel like when he comes back, he'll push Watkins to try and score more and get more out of him. And this could be like quite good for the club with having two good scoring strikers, I reckon.
Well, Trezeguet's back for Saturday, isn't he? Now he's back
Mm,
training.
he is, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
would you play him over Traore, or would you start him on the bench? Do you think he deserves a start, or?
No, you can't. I think he's got to stay on the bench. I mean,
mm,
Al Ghazi's been playing well. Traore's been playing well. Personally, for me, I think Al Ghazi was unlucky not to start against City, and
Mm.
I do prefer him to Traore. But obviously, you have to track back against Newcastle. It could be a good game for Traore, but I think Trezeguet's going to have to work his way back into the team. Obviously, with Barkley, he's walked straight back into the team, but he has been influential. I mean, he's done well. His work rate's second to none, but that goal threat, Traore and Al Ghazi offer more goals than him, and I think that's what we need at the minute.
mm. With Trezeguet as well, like coming on late on against Newcastle potentially would be brilliant because his pace would just kill their defenders. And like, you know, they'd have to deal with like Traore or Ghazi and Grealish attacking them for like 75, 80 minutes. And then you bring on Trezeguet and he could just, you know, run riot against their defence and get a goal late on. I feel like that's what Trezeguet would bring to us on Saturday.
Do you think we'll miss Dean Smith's voice on the touchline Saturday?
Yeah, but the thing is we're lucky that, again, try not to underestimate Newcastle, but if it was to be a City, United, Liverpool sort of game, you'd miss it more. But obviously, you are going to miss. Obviously, I think the fact this season that we brought Craig Shakespeare in, I think he'll help massively because I think him. But I think one that goes unnoticed that nobody mentions is Neil Cutler. I think he's got a lot to do with it. That room, he's always the one giving out the instructions before a player comes on. Obviously, he's only a goalkeeping coach, but I think he's got a bigger role to play at the club than what his title suggests.
I mean, we poached him from West Brom, wasn't it? I think. And like you see him on every time we're defending a set piece, is always out shouting at like Martinez. And last season, oh fuck, he played in goal for us last season. I really forgot. Pepe Reina. Oh god. Not the biggest fan of him, but you know he's always there barking orders at our goalkeepers. So he's a good character. And then as well as that, O'Kelly, like he's followed Smith from Brentford. He's been quite good. And then obviously John Terry, he's been immense, changing our defence. Like coming back from the off season because of COVID last year, he's just changed it and revitalised our defence.
Yeah. What about you, Luke? Do you think we'll miss him?
Yeah, of course, but like I think like who we work with, like John Terry, Craig Shakespeare, all that, I think they'll just be as influential as Dean Smith is, and I'm sure Dean Smith will be giving like tactics to Terry and all that before the game starts. So like I think we will miss Dean Smith, but like not as much as like we would in like a big game. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this isn't a big game, but like against a big team. Like you said, Man City, Liverpool.
What did you both actually make of the Dean Smith sending off? Obviously, you come out and told us what he said to the fourth official about the juggling ball comment. I thought it was quite a funny comment to make, but I don't think it warranted a red card.
No, if it was Klopp saying that to, it was the referee of the game again.
John Moss.
That's it, John Moss. If that was Klopp, would he have been sent off? No, I don't. I really don't think so. And that's not being me being a biased Villa fan. I just don't think Klopp would have been sent off.
He pulled yellow, so it must have been said in order for him to.
Well, I think I did see something on Twitter. Like, let me try and get it up, but like, it was so funny. I don't think it was real.
No, it wasn't. Yeah, I was seeing what you heard, and it was on about VAR decision said correct, and he was on about nature. Said that Moss looked like a turnip. Is that the one you're going to? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it warranted a red.
As transcribed by Sky Sports, Smith, offside, you dozy cunt. Referee John Moss approaches and presents a yellow card. Moss, the offside rules were applied correctly. Smith, well, the laws of nature weren't applied correctly to your head. You look like a turnip. If that was real, that would have been fucking...
Yeah, it was funny. But I mean, still, you got to have your voice. I mean, if our manager wasn't like that, and that's what I do like about Smith, he shows that passion. And he's actually involved in it. Obviously, Villa fan as well, one of our own. I mean, it went to show.
Did you see Smith's touch as well? That was beautiful. Get him in the middle of the park.
To be fair though, Smith just said what we was all thinking by the teams of it.
Yeah. I feel like going on to let's talk about transfers now. I mean, obviously the departure of Hurahan on loan for the rest of the season. What do you think of that? Because in my opinion, it's quite gutting for him because he's been here 4 years and brought a lot to us. But I mean, it's only a loan, but
I said to Jordan the other day, I think it was bound to happen eventually because he wasn't getting into the starting 11 anymore, and I think like he has helped us so much. Like he came in when we was at like rock bottom, and he's been there through all of it, like getting us to the Premier League. But I think us as a team now, we're trying to grow more now, like by trying to buy players like Morgan Sanson's, players like that. So yeah, it's sad to see him go on loan, but like I think he will go permanently in the summer. But like I think it's a good move for him because like he'll try and get Swansea back into the Premier League, and as we've seen, he's been through like promotions with Barnsley, us. So I think it is a very good move for him, but like I think it was bound to happen eventually because
Smith come out and say that he only wanted it to be a loan, that rather than be permanent for now. I mean, to be fair, he's been very good for us. Like you said, he's been there for years, and he's given us some very good memories. Mostly the goal against Blues and the one against the Albion. But yeah, I do think it is a good move for him. I think without a championship is his quality. I do think. I think it's a very good championship midfielder and bang out just below to bang average Premier midfielder. But to be fair, our strongest position right now is midfield, and I don't think he'll get in over your McGinn, Barkley, Lewis, and obviously now Ramsey's coming through. And I think Dean Smith obviously does favour the youngsters and the young side.
Yeah.
He obviously brought it through the academy now, and he's starting to break into the first team. So I do think it is a good move for him though.
I mean, like, because he's scored in every division like the top 4 divisions in England. I mean, you don't do that for no reason. And I feel like with his set piece taking ability, that might affect us a little bit. Not that, he was playing as much, but he did score the odd free kick, like the one against Newcastle last year. And when we played Derby away, when we won 3-0, and, he's a great player and pops up when you need him, especially against Albion. He'll be missed, even though it's a loan, but it's quite sad. But then moving on now to potential incomings. Morgan Sanson, what are your thoughts on him?
I don't really know much about him. Like I know he's been at Marseille for most of his career, and I know he had an injury during his career, but like I don't really know much about him because I don't really follow French football that much. But like I've heard he's a very good player. I know he's played in the Europa League for Marseille.
I think he's played in the Champions League as well, so he's got that quality.
I did hear Villas-Boas, because he's the manager of Marseille at the moment, isn't he? That our offer for him was just poor. So like I don't know what we offered Marseille for him, but like hopefully we can put in a bigger bid for him because I think he'd be a very good addition to the squad. And I think Villa now needs to. I think we've got our bulk of the starting 11. I think now we need to just build upon our bench because I think our bench is a very weakness for us. So like now Matt Targett got injured, we bring on Neil Taylor, and no disrespect to Neil Taylor, but I just don't think he's Prem quality, especially for this season. How we're like looking forward to like, top half table finishes. Like he's just not a Prem quality player for us. So I think Morgan Sanson would be a good addition to the bench maybe, and just like pushing McGinn and Douglas Luiz to fight for their positions.
Yeah. I was going to say that actually. I was going to say, do you think he'd be a first team player? Because obviously it is hard to get in players that know they're not going to be first choice. Obviously, we do need to strengthen our bench. I was saying at the Man City game that our bench is our weakness. Obviously, like you were saying, you look at our starting 11, and I think that starting 11 is good enough to compete with a lot of teams in the league. But when you're playing against teams like City, their whole bench would probably walk into our first team. Well, a lot of them would. Yeah. And I mean, that's what we need. When they're bringing on Gabriel Jesus, we can't be bringing on Keenan Davis that hasn't scored a goal since God knows how long.
Yeah.
What was that? Oh.
I was just saying. Anyway, so I think we've covered as much as possible there. So
Yeah.
I'd say
Final predictions, boys. Even though I hate predicting Villa, what do you think tomorrow?
2-0 Villa.
2-0. Yeah, I don't see us conceding against Newcastle. You know,
I'm going to say 2-1 because I'm like that. So
Watkins will get on the score sheet tomorrow. Score both, I think.
Yeah.
Randy Carroll back post, he'll score. Watch him, something like that.
Wouldn't surprise me, but I mean, nah.
Yeah.
Back to clean sheet, back to winning ways, and on to Burnley.
Hopefully, yeah.
About the next episode, actually.
Anyway, thank you for tuning in to the third episode of Holte End Talk. So
Also, don't forget, link in the description.
Yeah, link in the description.
Right. Wishing them all the best.
Thank you.
Right, we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Up the Villa.